Greetings, Tim. This is Aridif. That is Lidif, and this is it spelled. We understand you have many queries this evening, but before diving into those queries, we must express one concept in our own perception, above and beyond all things expressed in this evening, and that is that you are loved. Now, we understand you have many queries, so you may begin your queries at your leisure.
Thank you, Aridif. It's good to see you again.
Yes, it is a great pleasure.
I just want to start off with the health questions first. Okay, so with my, I keep getting these lumps in my chest, under my breast. What's this getting caused by?
Yes, when you are looking at your overall energy within your heart chakra, there is access to your heart chakra in some times where you are feeling abundant in the ability to love, but also there are times where love, relationships, and connections can be very difficult. So when you are looking at that energy, those times where you are opening that heart chakra, then closing it, keeping it closed for some periods of time, releasing and coming back to that contraction state, then it is causing resistance within the heart chakra area. Also, you look inside of your third chakra when you are dealing with certain aspects about yourself and the way that you perceive yourself, and the way that you perceive your own sense of self in the world experience that you are in. It often can create looping energy from your heart system. So in those two energies alone, that is the mechanics of what is working within that system. As well as you understand all of the things within your chakras that cause resistance and that allow a more freeing flow of energy, the most pointed steps in which you can take to gain access to the flow of energy that is more fitting for the healing process of the physical self is when you are working with the sense of relationship. First, look within the version of yourself that you are indeed meant to perceive love with, indeed meant to accept love into your own self, and that will help start balancing the amount of contraction and retraction that the heart chakra does. When you start placing that version of caring for yourself before others in certain points, allowing yourself to get the maximum capacity of that self-care that you can require in order to help those that you love, or to help those who you feel need your help and assistance, that in itself will start helping the heart chakra find a better balance instead of the contraction and retractive state. Also, working with that third chakra, when you are looking at the way that you perceive yourself, you understand just as every human that exists on the planet, there are perceptions in which you are looking at yourself in some negative ways, which affects both the heart chakra and that third chakra. So when you are in those moments of self-doubt or perhaps self-beating as some call, try to remind yourself that that balance of love for yourself, both in the heart and in the third chakra, will help allow you to plow forward with more neutral to more loving thought processes, not only as it pertains to yourself, but also as it pertains to many belief systems that you carry throughout your system, but also just in the simple terms of thought processes throughout the day. You understand that working with that emotional complex of that version of yourself that you find to be the greatest and least resistant self is always found when you feel content within yourself and content with what you are doing with others around you. So finding that place of excitement and contentment to fuel those positive reiterations to the heart and third chakra will be of a great priority to you. Also, when you are looking at the very physical nature of your physical body, understanding the same things that we have expressed many times throughout, the drinking of water that is not held with great amounts of minerals, chemicals, or even metallic energy will help allow you a better conductivity level from one cell to the next. The higher amount of electricity flowing from cell to cell will allow a greater deal of healing. That means that reverse osmosis-sized water also, water that is distilled are those that allow the highest electricity conductivity within it. Some areas, some places and examples are exactly 0% of conductivity loss within those waters, when some spring waters that are filled with minerals can produce an 89% conductivity flow. So allowing yourself the saturation of that water and the cellular level will also help the physical nature. Also looking into those things in which in your dietary supplements in each day become those of the highest vibrational foods, not only that others perceive, but yourself more so. If you perceive that eating salads that are filled with vegetables that are fresh and organic, that in itself, not only through belief systems, but the physical nature and vibration of the plant life itself, can help that energetic conductivity instead of the more physical conductivity, working with areas that are both green and yellow within those foods will help you within that third and fourth chakra region also.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because I have sort of started moving a bit that way towards drinking more water and changing my diet.
Yeah.
And cutting out sugar and such things. I have felt a lot better for it. So I can agree with everything you said there.
Yeah.
So you're saying it is reversible to reverse these lumps in my chest if I can keep my heart more open instead of opening and closing it so much. Is that what you're saying in that regards to about the heart chakra opening and then closing? Like I open it up and then for some reason, whether I get burnt or something, then I pull it back in and block myself up. Is that what you, in my words, is that what you're sort of saying?
Yes, that is exactly the energy that we are conveying when you are working with that energy of more so keeping that open heart chakra energy flow. It will help with not only the heart but the third chakra also. That loop of energy that has been created through self-doubt or self-beating plus the opening and shutting of the heart chakra, not only directed towards yourself, but to other relationships, other ideals, other things. Yes.
That's a big reflection of the relationship I just went through, which I may move into now, I guess.
Yes.
Is the relationship I just been through the last 9 months with Leah, and it's just sort of ended. That's the way I felt for that sort of relationship. We're saying, like, I'd be quite, what I'd believe, and it may not be true, but I'd be doing the best to be unconditionally loving towards her, and then getting abused or her getting upset at me, and I'm just doing what I believe the best I can, and I must shut down. Is that what's happening?
Yes, in that area, that is the defensive mechanism of choice of the majority of humans throughout the Earth Collective. When you start feeling that negative experience from another human that is giving you negative feedback, or even in the point of abusiveness toward yourself, that first instinct is to start shutting down your heart so that it does not hurt the energy of emotion, the energy of mentality, or the energy of the chakra system. But by doing that, what is occurring is not protection of the heart, it is retraction of the heart chakra. And that is just as if you are having a rubber hose that is pressurized and expands and then turned off and shrinks back to its normal size.
Okay. Yeah. So was that like a key element in that relationship with me on my behalf?
Yes. So that energy in relationship was one of the greatest parts of precipice of the opening and closing of the heart chakra.
So by having more self-love, you're saying basically I should just remove myself from that situation and still keep my heart open instead of staying in the situation, instead of staying in there and getting burnt and then closing off because it's a defense mechanism.
Yes, that is the least resistant way, and it is not the only way. There are percentages of probabilities that would allow you to continue that vision or version of relationship that you have with this entity and still allow you to keep your heart open. But it would only occur if you are restructuring the entirety of your belief systems, your reactivity to this person in the way that your energies co-create, but also the experience of how you think and feel in each moment. The least resistant way is to sever the ties of all of those relationships within your existence that feel resistant, negative, or perhaps limiting in your experience. When you do this, what you are doing is allowing yourself to cut off that closing part in some cases or some areas and allowing the heart to remain more open. But the terminology of being jaded or being hurt so badly that it causes more permanence of heart closing can also be an issue. So if you are working within the structure of allowing yourself to sever with this entity, try to remind yourself that during the time of severing, that you must accompany that severing with self-love brought into your own consciousness, self-love brought through your awareness in each moment, and also the ability to still connect to others. We are not saying that you should go out and get another relationship right away. What we are saying is still make your heart available for the connection to other beings, which means, even if you are not loving them in a romantic way, having compassion for them, having connection to them, having your open communication with them would be a very useful way to help keep your heart open in that process.
Yeah, because in that's sort of what I'm aiming for, actually, is right down the middle. With as regards to her, I don't know what the future holds. All I can do at the moment is work on myself,
Yes.
and it could be someone else in future, it could be her, who knows? Like, I'm not really focused on that sort of thing.
Yes, and one suggestion that we give to all humans who are going through similar circumstances that you are in this moment is, as you are not within the engagement fully of that relationship and putting energy and focus into that, place that same amount of focus and energy that you once did have for that energy of relationship and place that fully into that exploration of love for your own self and feeding that fuel with excitements in your own existence. Whatever it is, no matter how small or large, that piques your interest of excitement, placing time, energy, and effort behind that will allow you to experience your heart chakra loving just in a different way. Most humans believe that their heart chakra is only capable of connecting with other humans or even animals, but the heart chakra remains open when you are in love with anything, and that includes activities, experiences, and excitements of all kinds.
Of course, and I still feel like I love her, just I can't be within that relationship under those circumstances. Like, I don't consciously feel like I have malice towards her. I may subconsciously, but I guess that's time will tell in that regards. All I can do is still love her, and I don't know, what's going to happen in the future. Is that a wrong thing to do, to still just keep loving someone, even though they don't, perceive it that way, or?
In our perception, it is the greatest thing that one can do, even though separating from an entity by sharing that same level of love that you once shared with him, but just an understanding that the experience of relationships and the way that you once defined them is harmful to yourself is a very open way and less resistant way of experiencing. And we see that within your own energy, as you express, there is no malice that you are aware of. There are parts of you subconsciously that are slightly resistant towards that energy because of hurt feelings and experiences. But in the overall energy, it is much, much smaller in comparison to the majority of humans that we have experienced before within the similar circumstances. In some entities, we see pure hatred or pure anger, but what we see within you is just that energy that your feelings were hurt, that your experience was difficult, but still a great deal of love going out towards that entity. This is the greatest way to least resistance in our perception.
Oh, thank you for that affirmation. I feel a bit better now.
Yes.
And also, I guess with my libido and my sexuality, like, it's just shut down completely. Like, I don't know what, like, is that tied into my emotional body, or the way my libido just shuts down and starts up and it's all over the shop? And I thought it was hormonal and all this, but I get my hormones checked and they say it's mid-range. So there's obviously an energetic issue going on there because I have erections in my sleep.
Yes. It is not that the part of sexuality within your physical structure or shut down as you have expressed. It is more so that your heart chakra and second chakra have learned to co-create with one another at a very high level. So when there is resistance or pain within the heart chakra, there is also a shutting down of that second chakra, more so in the physical way, not the energetic way, to allow the healing of the heart process, because you have tied those two so closely together within your recent relationship, feeling love and sexuality combining into one energy, more or less. That has caused the second chakra energy to be diverted as your heart goes to healing. So working through your heart chakra energy will allow your second chakra to come back online fully in the near future. The more that you work within your heart chakra, knowing that your second chakra is not broken, it is not resistant, it is fine as it is only going through a shift of energy, then it will help allow you take away some of that worry, because worries that are related to your second chakra will cause more resistance within the second chakra. But when you let go of the fears or concerns that are associated with your second chakra, the more your second chakra will have the opportunity to flow within itself for the self-healing mechanisms to begin.
Yeah, I can understand. Okay, I get that, because I do feel that deep down that there is no issue there. I just don't have any drive for it. And I guess at this moment I do have to work on myself, so it's probably a good thing in that regards. I just obviously get that fear that it's, I'm nearly 40 and it's going to stop and it's all, I'm not going to be able to have erections and all this. But like you say, I'll just have to go with faith and knowing what's going on.
Yes, we do not see any energy that is akin to those who we have connected with before in the human department that have lost their own ability. So as we see all energy, it is not consistent with the imprint of one who loses their ability to work sexually through physical parts.
So it'll just be a matter of time until I open my heart back up again and keep it open and get that energy flowing, that it will just naturally start coming back.
Yes, and if you desire, there are two techniques that we can also teach you that can assist you with the working on both heart and second chakra simultaneously.
Absolutely.
Yes, first of all, within your heart chakra, if you use the grounding technique that we are taught many humans, it can be very helpful. Have you heard the specific technique that we have taught for grounding?
I have heard it, but I can't recall the exact technique. Is it the spiral into the ground?
Yes, it is working with your root chakra, breathing in white light, pushing the red energy into new root systems created in your legs, going down to the bottom of your feet, breathing in white light into the root, pushing the red energy to patu at the bottom of both feet, and then after you've cleared all of the red energy into the bottom of your feet, breathing in white light in from your nose through the root chakra, through the new root systems, all the way to the bottom of your feet, and creating new root systems approximately 33 meters in the ground. After releasing all of the red energy from the 33-meter deep roots, then you breathe upwards the golden yellow energy of the earth until it fills every square inch of the physical body. Once that occurs, you are connected to the earth energy. That in itself will give you the capacity to work within your second chakra and heart chakra simultaneously. Now, another energy is to utilize that technique first. Ground yourself fully. Then, as you start breathing inwards from the earth energy to bring a new green energy, you bring that green energy directly into your second chakra until it has filled the entire second chakra. Then, breathing up from the roots in your feet yet again, you breathe all the green energy through your second chakra into your heart chakra, filling your second and heart. This gives you the capacity of the green healing earth energy to utilize itself in both your second chakra and heart. Now, understanding you can use this for your third chakra too, but in this specific case, we would suggest first working with your second and fourth, then your second, third, and fourth, or any of the chakras that you desire.
Okay, thank you. I'll take that on board and practice them.
Yes.
Okay, on to the next. Guess we could go into the experiences I've had with the extraterrestrials and UFOs, but
Yes.
like in broad daylight, and for some reason I've seen them for quite some time, and yet people around me can't perceive them, and there's quite a big period in my life where they're just broad daylight and flying over me, making themselves quite apparent. Like, what was? I guess it's a broad thing I'm asking, but specifically, like when it's above my house or something like that, and someone else can see it, and it's clear as day. Like, what are they trying to convey to me?
Yes, first of all, you have worked with a race of entities that in your perception are grey human hybrids for the entirety of your existence physically upon this earth. As you were a young child, these entities work with you both in a physical nature and in your sleep state nature. They worked with you because of your previous incarnation as an entity who was incarnated into the same family lineage, had agreed to work with them genetically to utilize the programming of human DNA with their own DNA to create the hybrid races. After doing that, what officially would be considered your great-great-great-uncle upon your father's genetic side, after that incarnation, you came back into the same family lineage and incarnated into this existence. After doing so, before entering the physical existence, you agreed upon working with them again, and they understood fully that if you change your mind within your existence, both mentally or consciously, that it would then be null in the void of a contract. So working with them since you have been young child to teenager, there was a level of acceptance subconsciously and even in your dream state that allowed them to continue. Now working with them can continue if you desire. Cutting off that existence is also an option. If you no longer choose to work with him, then they will no longer come to visit you in the same fashion.
How do I gain more contact with them again? Because there was a stage, I guess, in my life where it got really hectic, and I had to back off for my own development.
Yes, we understand now. If you desire to create more contact with them in this moment, understand the utilization of pre-sleep meditations as well as pure, hard, and strong intent throughout your daily existence. Both of those utilized together can lead you to the opportunity of working with them more deeply by using meditations with mantras that are one-worded in nature. Contact, 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 or using a word that perhaps is different. Acceptance, acceptance, whatever the word is, placing the intent to work with him behind it will strongly allow higher development within your communication again. We suggest before sleep state because they are still connecting with you very frequently, even
Really?
up to 3 times per week in your sleep state.
No way. Wow.
Yes.
That's pretty intense.
Yes, we must also express there is approximately 5 minutes remaining, so whatever question you feel is important, you may place them up front.
Okay, I guess that race, I just have to explore who that race is, or it's...
Yes, if you are looking at the construct of hybrids in the way that you would perceive hybrids, these entities worked with a hybrid race that was a shoot or an offshoot of the entities you would call Zeta Reticuli Greys. These entities that were hybrids of theirs connected also with other human hybrids. They created their own race through a sexuality, and that race is the one that has been in contact with you. They are a race approximately 900 years old into their second, third, and fourth generation.
Okay, so they're a bit like the Yael and Pleaidian, how they're mixes of...
Yes. If you are looking at the Yaryel in that way, they would approximately be second cousins to the Yaryel.
Okay. And I've just made this agreement with them to help them out. Is that basically it?
Yes, to help them with their own progress of connection and utilizing DNA, but also for your own self. You needed to be reminded within and throughout your life that you are connecting to these entities, and the spiritual and emotional growth that comes along with working with them is just as important, if not more, for your own self than the physical parts of working with them. So by utilizing their own essence to be reminding you throughout your entirety that they are there to show themselves to you in their ships will trigger that part of you that desires to expand your consciousness yet again and again.
And it did. It did. Yeah, it was a big wake-up call.
Yes.
In that regards. Okay. And so these entities have been working with me. When you say my physical incarnation on Earth, just this life, or you're talking about when I first started coming to this Earth, like Atlantean time or something like that?
No, the first lifetime in which they worked with you was that of your relative that you reincarnated from this incarnation. So this is your second physical life. But there are many future probabilities of your incarnations and where you are consistently and continuously working with them. In some probable incarnations, you become one of their races.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
And so you say my second physical life here. When did I come to Earth?
Yes, you have been within the Earth Collective, creating and co-creating with the co-created Earth Collective consciousness since the second wave of incarnations, working past the Kon-Ki into those that are what most entities in the Earth Collective call either Atlanteans. Some entities call them by different names, but in our perception they are not the Atlantean beings.
Because I do have a connection with Atlantis for some reason. It always, especially when I had this event with the UFOs, that connection came in. Like this has been going on since Atlantis with me or something. And I came in from another planet around that time.
Yes, there are different incarnations that you have had, and in your Atlantean time was most definitely an incarnation. Your Atlantean life that you connected to, you did work with those that are considered extraterrestrial and still have connections with him throughout your oversoul, and also connected to your own higher consciousness and higher fractal consciousness. The remembrance of that in this lifetime is brought about so that you can retrace certain lineages where you have worked very diligently and longly with other races to help co-create more of an existence into your connection with the races that you have in this incarnation, but also the new races that you can connect with in your sleep state and meditation state. We must express that our time has come to the end. But before disconnecting, we wish to express to you that we are deeply excited of co-creating with you, and we are very pleased to have co-created this experience this evening.
Yeah, thanks, Aridif. And I appreciate you coming in my dreams also. I can't remember exactly what you said to me in that, but I do remember speaking to you.
Yes, we are very grateful to co-create with you in your dream state, and also we have connected to you in your awakened state before, when you are feeling emotional wideness and also energetic connections to your crown and third eye chakras. We have connected to you strongly in those points when you are thinking about us, so we are very grateful for connecting with those. We wish to express through our greatness that we will bid you adieu for this evening. You are loved.
See you, Aridif. I'll speak to you soon, mate. Bye.
Yes, adieu.